All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh again. And inshallah, today, 16th of January, we will be doing two more chapters for today, chapter 7 and chapter 8. Okay, so what have we learned so far since day one? Let me pick out what have we done exactly yesterday. So yesterday we have highlighted the most important thing about innovation is the timing. Okay, we have highlighted the most important thing about our innovation projects, our mission ideas that you need to propose to the top management is about your timing of entry. When do you want your product, your process to be into the market, to be introduced to the market? Okay, so there are a few factors you have to see, or few types of timings that you need to see. Are you or is your product or your company an early or follower or late? That means if you're the early ones, that means you're the first company to do it. If you're a follower, that means you just follow what people have done, or maybe you're the late type, meaning to say you wait for everything when everything is stable, then you move on. Okay, but today we are going to look at what to choose, how to choose innovation projects. Because as I explained to you, all of you are now senior managers of the transformation unit office. So you have to propose to your top management some innovation process, product that your company is going to embark on. But your innovation projects come from each department or individuals within your organization. Okay, so your department is either collecting innovation projects or maybe coming up with innovation projects. What do I mean by collecting? Let's say you have 3 departments, 4 departments in your office. Each department wants to come up with a new product, new process. So they propose to your department, and your department will evaluate this to choose which of these products process that can go far. And when I say can go far, it's much what it means is the most profitable project for the next 5-10 years. Okay, and so your projects will be proposed to the management. Or in a different scenario, if you look at it, let's say you are individuals need who need some sort of capital to start on a business. So you can also propose your innovation ideas to banks, to companies, for them to give you some sort of fund for you to embark on your on your organization, on your new product. So in this chapter, we are going to understand how do you choose innovation projects. Okay, so the most important thing in choosing innovation projects is you have to identify the marginal payoff of investing in future improvement in each dimension. What do I mean by this? Simple. When you propose an idea to your top management, the top management will look at these projects and think in a few dimensions. Well, what are these dimensions? We are going on in the later chapter, in the later slide. But the most important is they need to understand, okay, if this company were to put $1 million inside this project, when or what is the marginal payoff? When would I get back, or how would I get back this $1 million? Because they have to understand $1 million is a lot of money. Okay, and if they do not use this money, it will be still a waste. So now they got you propose to the top management, okay, this is a good process, or this is a good product. Let's invest in this. Let's start doing this. Let's do R&D in this. So now they'll be thinking, okay, what is the marginal payoff? When can we get the returns? Or how good is the marginal payoff? Okay, even though yes, the returns might be slow, might be very slow, but it's a constant return. Okay, it's a constant return. So so things. Let's take things for example. Let's take things from Shopee or from Shopee. Okay, the marginal payoff is very little. Why do I say that? Let's say you sell a product in Shopee. Okay, you sell a product in Shopee. Let's say you sell a book. The cost original book is only 10 ringgit. Meaning to say, you as the seller, you're selling the book for 10 ringgit. Plus, Shopee charges you 4 ringgit for postage. And this 4 ringgit is not bared by you as the seller, is bared by the buyer. Okay. So, still $10 you got. Okay. So, what does Shopee? Shopee also wants, okay, Shopee is providing you with the platform. So, what does Shopee? So, Shopee also wants some sort of percentage. So, Shopee says, okay, Izzati, if you want to sell your book in my platform, I will charge you $1. For each transaction that you make, I will charge you $1. So the marginal payoff, as you can see, is only $1, very little. But Shopee thinks there will be hundreds, thousands of people buying for other products. So even though your marginal payoff is very little, but it's a very constant one. That is why Shopee keeps investing on its system, because it knows even though the marginal payoff is very, very little, small, but it's constantly happening. It's going to happen every day. Let's say Shopee invests $1 million, but per transaction, Shopee charges 1 ringgit to every item being sold. That means if you sell a book, 1 ringgit. If you sell, Shopee gets 1 ringgit. If you sell a handphone online on Shopee, Shopee gets 1 ringgit. And let's say each day it gets about 10,000 ringgit just by $1. That means there are 10,000 transactions done per day. Ini I'm just thinking lah, but it could be more. Okay, so even though the marginal payoff is very little, but if it's a constant marginal payoff, then it's a good thing. So what does management do? Management wants to know what is the marginal payoff if we were to choose this project. Okay, so as the management, you have to identify which innovation project effort. There are two types that can go on. Innovation projects are projects lah. That means, okay, project kita akan buat, we are going to do a handphone. This is a project. Efforts mean we already have it and we want to enhance it. We have, let's say, if you're on Shopee, you have the system, but you want to enhance it. Okay, so now, where should we focus our innovation efforts or ideas for? That means, so now you have the money, the company says, okay, now how do we focus it? So first, there are 3 steps. You have to identify the dimension, map the utility curve for investing in each dimension, and determine your focus, which is the company's focus. All right. So what are dimensions? So dimensions are the path that technology has taken over the past. Identify the path that technology has taken over the past. But then again, what dimensions are we talking about? Okay, what dimensions are we talking about? So there are 4 types of dimensions that we are talking about. Is it a product? Is it a process? Is it the position, or is it the paradigm? Okay, so what are these? What do you mean by this? So product, I think everyone can get it. A product is a product. It's physical. You can see it. You can touch it. You can feel it. That's a product. Process, as you can see in this diagram, banking service. Now we have online. Improve fixed line. Now we have Skype. So this is a process. Position, airline segmentation service offering for different passengers group, premium economy. And then now you take down, you go into low cost. So this is your position. Paradigm, refining home appliances market in terms of high performance engineered product. Dyson, ini yang increment, okay? And then you refine industries. You jual, cara you buat advertising tu berbeza. Okay, you jual in Amazon, you jual in Skype. That means last time you change your paradigm. Now you have e-commerce, so those are paradigms. So there are 4 different types of dimension. Either it's a product, process, position, or paradigm. So what do you mean by this? So the top management has to decide in which dimension are we going to go in the next coming years. Are we going for a new product? If it's a new product, then we have to do a lot of R&D. From an old car, now you want to have a hybrid car as a product. If it's a process, again, we have to identify what is the current process and how is it going to become a new product, new process. Or if it's a position, you want to go into, let's say, MAS. MAS dulu tak pernah ada, what do you say, tak pernah ada cheap flight tickets. Now when Air Asia came out, MAS kata, yes, let's have Firefly. Okay, let's have Firefly. Firefly is under MAS. So they are already changing their positions. Okay, sama juga macam hotel booking. Those days, you book hotel only through phone call or at the counter. Now, hotel bookings are done anywhere. There's so many websites to do hotel booking. The most popular one is Agoda. Now you have booking.com. You can even do it with the hotel. You can even do it with hotels.com. So many other things. So the position has been changed. Okay. Now you realign everything. Or you change the paradigm. Okay. From home selling normal equipment, now you go into Amazon.com, you go into online. So these are things. So there are a few types of dimensions you have to choose from. Okay, and each dimension, when we choose each dimension, we have to identify the path of the technology. Okay, let's say we choose product, paling senang lah product. Okay, we choose product. So we are choosing, the company is going to go with dimension product. Okay, senang. Buat itu product ni. So we first have to see what is the technology that has, what is the current technology. That means we have to look what was the past until what is the current, because the management is going to decide by us choosing the dimension, product dimension, from here on ke depan macam mana. So we cannot come up with a product, we cannot come up with a new car which has the old technology. We have to come up with a new car that has something new. Okay, let's say Honda decides to go into this dimension, product. Okay, so it's going to refine its Honda Civic. It cannot come out with a old Honda Civic which uses the old technology. It has to come up something which is better than the current technology. Okay, so it has to study what is past, what is current, and propose something which is a new one. Even though a new engine, a new body lift, a new facelift, some sort, as long as the dimension is product, because it has chosen product. So, step number one, identify the dimensions. How many dimensions do we have? We have 4 dimensions: product, process, position, and paradigm. You can apply this to your department as well, in your office. Where is your department going in the next 10 years? Okay, or 20 years, or 30 years. Sometimes, maybe your office wants to go to be top. But in order for you to be at the top, you have to do it every 5 years. Okay, maybe they say, okay, the first 5 years, we are going to innovate. We are going to focus on the process. Okay, let's do the process. After that, we are going to change our paradigm, then our process, and then our product. Even Air Asia, this all 4 together, but they do not do all 4 as in together lah. That means tak adalah buat in 1 year all 4, tak. They buy little by little, but in the long term. Okay, in the long term. Okay, first they look at, okay, let's not take Air Asia lah. Virgin Airlines. Virgin Airlines, what they did was, during the recession time in 97, 98, they bought about 20 new aeroplanes. People were thinking, why do you want to buy aeroplanes sedangkan it's recession 97, 98? People are not flying, but you bought aeroplanes. But what the CEO said, the CEO said, eventually the market is going to become okay. Betul lah. Eventually the market is going to become okay. And eventually people are going to fly, which is correct. And by buying a new product, aeroplane, if you buy today, it is not being delivered tomorrow. It will take some time. So he bought the aeroplane in 97-98 only to come out in the next 5 years. Aeroplane, 5 tahun lepas baru sampai. So during these 5 years, he refined his process, position, and paradigm. So he did all this. So at the end of 5 years, he was ready. The company was ready to receive the aeroplanes and shoot off. And he became a billionaire. Because sometimes, yes, organization wants to do everything, to be number one in airlines, to be number one in electronic, but you cannot just come up with one product and become, oh, this is no. You have to do it little by little. So that's why they focus on, let's do the process first. Let's do the product first. Let's do the process paradigm. And at the end of it, when all collides together, they become top. All right. So step number 1, identify dimensions from the 4. Step number 2, look at utility curve. What is utility curve? Okay. So where are we going from this? We want to tell the top management to choose this innovation project. So in order for the top management to choose these innovation projects, step number 2 is map the utility curve. So what is the utility curve? Because daripada utility curve ni, macam ni. Utility curve ni is a indifference curve, is a graph showing combination of two goods. Ini contoh, two goods that give the customer equal satisfaction and utility. All right. Based on this graph, Peter has 1 unit of food. Okay. Mana Peter? Mana food? Okay, here. A. And 12 units of clothing. Okay, here. Now, we ask Peter, how many of units of clothing is he willing to give up in exchange for additional units of food, so that his level of satisfaction remains unchanged? So Peter kata, okay, I can let go 6 baju and I'll makan more. Okay. So dia let go 6 baju, it comes down to B, and dia makan lebih sikit, so it goes down to 2. Tapi this curve kat sini, it shows that Peter punya satisfaction is still the same. Walaupun last time he spent more on clothing, but now even if he spends less on clothing and more on food, he is still happy. So satisfaction here still there. Okay, and then it go on and on. So the higher the graph is, so kita look at satu lagi kat sini. Let's say we tell Peter, okay, now you minus another 5 more clothing. And then the graph will go on atas ke atas. So each time it grows up, satisfaction increases. So what does this mean? This means that if you invest more on clothing, you will still get there will be still people who is satisfied. Okay, that means it's good to invest more on clothing juga. How do you take this in another real life example? Let's say in your taman there's only 5 restaurants. Okay, 5 restaurants. So does that mean that if I put another 2 restaurants, I won't do well? So based on this curve, it shows that even though another 2 restaurants come into that taman, people will be still satisfied. People will still go to that shop. They will reduce something else, tapi still akan pergi sana juga. So this curve is starting to tell the management, even though we focus on clothing or food, people will be still satisfied. That means we are still going to make money. People will reduce their clothing in order for them to get more food. People will spend less there, tapi still go here juga, and people are still satisfied. It does not mean that kalau kita invest more on clothing, people will not eat. No, they will eat less, tapi they will still spend. And It's not that they will spend more on clothing and more on food. Tak. They will still spend within their budget juga lah. That means budget dia orang 1,000 per month. Okay, now they spend more on clothing but less on food. So utility curve is to check if the combination of two items still creates the same satisfaction among a person. Any questions? You want to ask me? Okay. Faham? Ada soalan nak tanya saya about the utility curve? So utility curve is quite interesting if you go back to your daily life as well. Sometimes in our daily life, we spend, let's say, average every month, we eat out maybe about 5 times, 5 kali lah, or maybe 4 times lah, senang kira. That means every week kita makan luar sekali. Every Sunday kita makan luar, every Sunday kita makan, so 4 times. And kita beli baju, let's say every month kita beli 2 baju. Okay, two items. Okay, 2 items. That means every month kita makan 4 kali and beli. So we are satisfied. But we can change that. So kita kurang lah. That means every month I makan 2 kali, I beli 4 baju. Still I'm satisfied. Okay, as long as satisfaction is guaranteed, then it's good. Then it is okay. So now the company knows if I were to invest more on clothing, I'm still okay. Bukannya people will still go back to food. Okay. Tapi kalau kita cakap more on food ni is a very orang kata food is a very tricky item to sell sometimes, because you have to understand some foods are some foods are what we say as sometimes food. Sometimes, kadang-kadang bila ada lebih kita pergi. Contohnya macam dulu kita ada froyo, yogurt tu kan, yogurt tu. Kan? You remember yogurt? If we have additional in that month, we go. Dia bukan froyo ni bukan macam kedai mamak atau kedai tom yum. Kedai tom yum, we have to eat. Kita kena pergi. Kalau froyo ni, it's a dessert. Ada lebih, we go. Tak ada lebih, duk siap-siap kat rumah. Kalau kedai mamak and kedai tom yum, we have to eat roti canai. We have to eat rice. So we go. If we do not eat, we get hungry. Kalau froyo ni, kalau tak pergi pun tak apa. Okay, pun tak apa. It's okay. Because that is considered a, what you say, okay, nice to have food. Okay, all right. So step number 2 is to identify the utility curve. Step number 3 is to determine your focus. Okay, now we know that we are going for product. Okay, so in terms of product, kita nak buat apa? What is the dimension dalam produk tu? Adakah kita nak increase the cost, comfort, reliability, ease of use? Okay, we do a study on that. Okay, kita nak we are going for product. That means Honda akan keluarkan kereta baru. So what part of the car kita nak buat? Adakah kita nak keluarkan kereta yang sama but a better body kit, or kereta yang sama with a better engine, or totally a new car, new tires, new color? So you determine your focus from your dimension. So dalam dimension 4 tu, once kita dah pilih satu, that means we go inside into detail. What is the focus of each dimension? What is the focus of that particular dimension? What do you want to change? What do you want to increase? What do you want to create from that particular dimension? Okay, why did the customer electronics giant invest so much in developing audio technology that exceeded the hearing capacity of humans? This is a very interesting question. The question says, why did the consumer electronic giants invest so much in developing audio technology that exceeded the hearing capacity of humans? Okay, so if we will look to this, it's quite absurd lah. Why do companies develop something which is exceeding? Kalau katakan a human can listen up to 10, tapi these companies create something which leads to more than 10. More than 10. But when you look at it, bila saya baca graph dia, customer nak macam tu. The customer wants like that, and it's satisfied. Okay, because when they look at the utility curve, the customers are satisfied. They want something which is nice to hear, even though it is beyond their hearing capacity. So that's why now you have earphones, headphones, or earphones. Yeah, you can use it for so many things. Saya pernah tengok earphone untuk if you're swimming, masuk underground pun, underground pula, masuk dalam air pun you can hear good music while you're running, while you're in the gym. So there are different kinds of headset. Okay, so these are things that the company has put some innovation for them. Okay, for them to invest. All right. Now we know what to invest on. So we are going to invest on we are going to invest on a product. Okay, dah cantik dah. Now, budget. What kind of budget are we looking at? Okay, so we can use the combination method because the budget is we now know that we are going for a product. Dimension kita ialah product. Now, do it lah. How to look at the money? So often firms use a combination of method to more completely evaluate the potential and risk of an innovation. Now we know that the innovation that we are going to go is a new product. Okay, cantik. And we know that maybe we are going to change the cost, we are going to change the design and the engine and so on and so forth. So this leads to money. Now, we need to get the budget. So most likely, the organization is going to do capital rationing. That means some sort of money, put it on this side. Set a value, fixed value for R&D budget. Okay, or maybe they will do, since there are few projects, they will do ranking. Okay, this project ranking number 1, this project ranking number 2, this 3. So which one goes first? So they will look at the budget. Sometimes they also look at the previous years. Okay, previous year you spend banyak ni on this department. So this year another department gets it. Okay, so this is an example of between industries, how much budget they've allocated for R&D. Okay, this is the development budgets overall in all of these big companies. Okay, a few millions per year, and it increases by certain percentage every year. Okay, now, so as for now, we have talked about innovation within an organization. Okay, within an organization. That means we are in an organization, we have the transformation unit office, we propose the top management, this is how we want to go, and this is how we need to find the money. Okay, so now we are in an organization. But now, let us think if we are alone, we want to start our own business. Okay, start our own business. We have an idea, we have an innovation, but we have no money. We need some sort of funding. So how do we start? Okay, so we look at startups. What are startups? Startups are small companies, which I will explain later on. Okay, so we need to get money. So either we can use our family, our friends, credit card lah, ni semua, or apply for loan lah semua, and this and that. Okay, we can do that. Or maybe we can get angel investors. Okay, so what is startup? Startup is a company or project undertaken by an entrepreneur to seek, develop, and validate a scalable business model. Ini maksud startup. So I'm sure all of you have heard Kasem. Kasem pernah dengar kan? On the TV ada Big Pay, I'm sure pernah dengar. Boost lagi. Soka dalam Malaysia, Easy Parcel. So these are what we say as startup companies. Idea daripada, these are all Malaysian companies. Yeah, I think most of these are Malaysian companies. Okay, they come up with ideas. They go. These are new companies, brand new companies. They come up with ideas and they get investors to invest in their companies. They come up with ideas. They come up with innovations. Okay, so example kat sini Kasem, Big Pay, Boo, Soka, Easy Parcel. You have never heard of this before, but these have been around lah. So macam Custom has been around for at least, Custom ni dah lama sebenarnya, from 2015 I think. Big Pay 2017-18 has been around. Soka, 2018-19, around that year. So they pitch the idea to organizations, to companies, and if they do well in their pitching, they get some money. Or maybe they get money from angel investors daripada somewhere lah. Malaikat. So wealthy private investors or person focus on financial small business ventures in exchange for equity. What do you mean by equity? Equity adalah perdagangan saham. That means, okay, let's say I have some sort of, I have $1 million, I invest in your company and you give me saham balik. Okay, you give me some percentage. All right. Or venture capital. Venture capital is a form of private equity and a type of financing that investors provide to startup companies and small businesses that believe to have a long-term growth potential. In Malaysia, we go through, dalam Malaysia, we have about 20 or 30 venture capitalists, and the most famous one, I think, is Malaysian Venture Capital Management lah. Okay, this is one of the venture capitals. So people go and pitch their idea to venture capital, and then if they like the idea, they will give you the money. And for private equity lah, private equity is pegang saham lah, meaning they get some percentage for them. That means if the company makes some sort of money, some sort of profit, they will get certain percentage. All right. So again, in order for you to, how does these companies choose which project to go on? They use two methods. They use the discounted cash flow method or the real options, or the two method on how these companies chooses to sponsor or to provide funds for startup companies. Okay, so from now on, we have stopped talking about organizations. Now we are talking about individuals. Okay, so you have to imagine yourself, you have the idea, but you don't have the capital. So now, how do you propose to these venture capitals to get some sort of fund? You want funds, isn't it? You have the idea, everything is what but how do you do it? So one way is for how the companies akan pilih you is based on discounted cash flow method and real options. So discounted cash flow method ialah the companies will decide if, let's say they have, Malaysia Venture Capital inside its bank, it has about $1 million. And this $1 million, if they do not invest, diorang akan kerugian. Let's say diorang invest dalam ASB. ASB bagi 5%. So after 1 year, they'll get about 50,000. So tahun kedua, diorang akan lagi kaya. They will be rich by 50,000, right? But if they do not invest, diorang akan kerugian 50,000. Rugi on paper lah. Okay, so discounted cash flow means how much loss will a company get if they do not venture into this idea. Okay, so we look at the net present value. Net present value ialah the amount, the expected cash inflow they can get over the last 5 years. If they were to invest in you, that means if they were to invest in you, they can get a return of 5% per year. But if they do not invest in you, they are akan rugi 5%. Okay, so the total returns they get is what we say as the net present value. Or they can do an internal rate of return, discount rate that makes the net present value of investment zero. That means what is the interest rate they will be getting? Adakah they will get, by investing in you, can they get about 5% per year? So they have to look at all of these possibilities. Or what is the strength of using the discounted cash flow method. That means it provides financial estimates. That means they can estimate what percentage or what is the keuntungan in the next coming years. But then the weakness is it may be deceptive. That means this may be not true. Could be the next year tiba-tiba dapat COVID pula, so they cannot get the what they have been promised lah. Kata if you put 5 years, if you put 1 million, you can get 5%, tapi tak dapat pun. So it is one deceptive pun. Okay. Next, we can use the real option method. The real option method is apply stock options to stock option model to non-financial resources or investment. Okay, so meaning they will look at if I were to invest this amount of money, how long can I get my returns? One, are they going to use the delay method? Okay, tak apa, they know how much I'm going to get, but they wait and see. Or they are not. That means if anything goes wrong, would the company yang invest to be blamed? Let's say the company X invest in this new startup company 50,000. Lepas tu startup company tu tak berjaya, bankrupt. So, adakah company yang invest itu akan terlibat sama? So they have to investigate. Okay, so they will do real options. That means they will value all the options available if they were to invest in your company. So these are some of the examples, all right, and some of the projects, so on and so forth. Okay, let us see what else is there here. Sometimes when they want to look at the investment, they also look at the level of risk, resource commitment, and timing of cash flow. Okay, how risky is this new business? If risky means if somebody, let's say the product is out, but nobody uses it, or resource commitment, they spend so much, they send people to develop on it, but again, there's nothing. Or timing of cash flow, spend so much cash going out, but nothing coming in. So there's also some part of risk management there involved. Or they can use a Q-sort method. Okay, Q-sort method ni macam mana? That means they rank the ideas. Okay, what is your idea? Dia tanya je. Because these are individuals ni. What are your ideas for the next 5 years? Okay, my idea is going to develop, my idea is going to develop this product dekat Malaysia. Second year dekat ni. So they will put their ideas in cards, lepas tu dia orang sortkan. Okay, sortkan. So they will, from this sorting, they will see which is more profitable and berapa lama. Because you have to understand, in this method, we are now looking for money. We are looking for investors. So investors need to be confirmed that the innovation idea yang Boost coming up with is good. Yang Custom coming up ni is a good idea. So you have to convince them. So once you have convinced them, they have to check their balance. They have to see if we were to invest this amount of money, boleh tak survive company ni? Or if this company goes down, are we to be blamed? That's another issue as well. Okay? All right. So we stop here for 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. And we'll continue back in the next lecture for the next chapter. Okay? Do you have any questions before we stop here? All right. So let us stop here for 10 minutes. We'll continue back at 10:35. Okay? All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you at 10:35.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay. In chapter 8, what we are going to look at is the collaboration strategies. Okay. So far, what have we done in the previous chapter? We have highlighted how does companies choose innovation projects based on the 4 dimensions that we mentioned: product, process, paradigm, and what else? Product, process, paradigm, and process. Process, paradigm, process. Okay lah.
Position.
Sorry?
Position.
Position. 1 markah untuk anda. Okay, so bila dapat 99, you will get 1 more mark from me. Okay, thank you so much. Arif tadi.
Amin.
Amin. Okay, Amin. 1 markah besar untuk awak. Amin. 1 markah. Okay. Alright, so those are how you choose the dimension. And then we have also looked at if you are an individual, where to look for money from. So you can get money from a venture capital. You can, and then how does this venture capital look at your innovation? They use discounted method or real life options method. Okay, so these are methods in determining whether your product, your innovation is worth to invest in. Okay, in chapter 8, we are going to look at now. In order to be very successful or to be successful in a new innovation, we might need to collaborate with other companies, other products. This is because if we go alone, we might not go as far as being very competent in that particular product. So we need to collaborate with other partners as well. For example, you can take like Grab, e-wallet, Touch and Go. They have collaborated with so many companies. If you can see like Touch and Go, they have some discounts if you use your Touch and Go e-wallet in 7-Eleven. So they have done some collaboration. So if you use your e-wallet in Touch and Go in 7-Eleven, you get some specific discounts. Okay, so how does 7-Eleven make profit? Even though when they are giving discounts, but 7-Eleven looks at it as the returning customers. Customers keep on coming. Okay, and the discounts are only given once. Okay, but customer most likely is coming over and over again. So they are looking in a long-term perspective. So in chapter 8, we are going to understand what kind of collaboration methods, strategies are there around. Okay, so why do we choose collaboration? Because it enables firms to achieve more at a faster rate and at less cost and risk. Okay, so even Shopee collaborates with other courier companies because it does not need to think about the courier service. Okay, so it tells JNT now, I will process the payment, I will do everything. You just collect the item from the seller and give it to the from the buyer and give it to the seller. I will pay everything for you. Okay, you do not have to collect any payments. Okay, everything is done by me. You just get the money every month. Okay, so now if you sell any items in Shopee, the seller prints out the receipt. The seller pastes the receipt on the product. The seller goes to JNT. JNT just collects. It does not need to do any receive any payments from the customer. It does not need to print anything. It just merely receive the item and post it for you, post for the seller. So at the end of the month, Shopee gives the money back to JNT for helping it to post. That is it. Okay, so it needs to collaborate with other companies so that it achieves more. You can Shopee achieves more customers, JNT achieves more customers. Okay. However, when you talk about collaboration, there is a small risk because you may give out certain personal information about the company. Okay, personal information, so personal secrets. So these are some of the things that we are going to look at in this chapter. Okay, so why do we go solo? Sometimes we also go solo because of the capabilities. We are unable to look at other companies because we want to protect our proprietary technology, because of the controlling technology development and use. Because if we cannot collaborate with others because others have not used that technology. We are the only ones who has that technology. Okay. So types of collaboration, we have strategic alliances, formal, informal agreement between two or more organizations. Emphasize on complementing the capabilities. That means, for example, like strategic alliances. Sekarang ni Disney apa tu? Astro. You buy Astro, you get Netflix, you get Disney on the Star. Okay, all comes together. So those are like strategic alliances. Okay, you buy this, you get this, you get this. Okay, you go into apa tu? You go into this shopping mall, you buy something, you get something for free, something like that lah. Tapi strategic alliances is more. That means people come to you, you buy their item, you get something else in free. Okay, so those are examples of strategic alliances. Okay, because if you were to go solo, you cannot go far. So now you go into collaborative arrangements. Some they go into joint ventures. Okay, equity investments. That means in order for the company to move forward, they joint venture with another company. Okay, and profit is divided according to equity lah. Okay, for example, let's say AirAsia and a local tourism company in Sabah joint venture. That means you fly through AirAsia, you buy the ticket, and then you can automatically go into that travel agency in Sabah. So it's a joint venture. So if you buy this, you get this. Profit, AirAsia gets some profit, tourism gets some profit, the local tourism. Okay. Some you can even sell licensing, collaboration through licensing, a contractual agreement that gives an organization the right to use another intellectual property, typically in exchange of for royalty. Meaning to say, let's say this company wants to develop a new product, tapi you need to, in order for them to develop it, they need to buy the license of a new software. So what they do is they sign collaborative arrangement. So at least the licensing fee is now reduced. Okay. Sama juga macam dekat universiti. When the university they have collaborative with SPSS, some other AutoCAD, PDF. So students can get it for free. They have the license. Okay, at a cheaper rate. So they collaborate with these software companies. Or you can use the technique of outsourcing. Okay, you have the ideas, but you do not know how to do it, so you just outsource and somebody else to do it for you. Okay, somebody else to do it for you. Okay, you have everything with you, but you have no time. Like these small SMEs. Small SMEs are considered they're doing outsourcing. Okay. Macam yang jual daging harimau or so on. These are all outsourcing lah, lebih kurang macam outsourcing lah. They have the product, tapi they cannot go to that area to sell, so they use outsourcing. Okay, you tolong jual, you ambil 25 ni, you jual lah at this market value price. Harganya it should be within this, you jual. Profit, saya ambil sikit, or saya ambil banyak, you ambil sikit. That's how you work. Okay, so now their profit is now growing. Because they know they cannot go into that local place to sell because it takes time, it takes effort, but you are there. Okay, now you take this product, you sell it for a certain price, and the profit, we will share it among them. Okay, so those are things like outsourcing. Collective research organization formed to facilitate collaboration among a group of firms. Okay, that means you collaborate. Maksudnya dalam university, we do this. We collaborate between right, so we have a university grant, kita collaborate within 3 companies, so we do work on this. Okay, university A, dia ada 2 expertise dia, university B ada 2 expertise dia, university C dia tak ada expertise tapi dia ada lab yang special. So we collaborate ideas, we collaborate resources, and we make things work. So that is a collaborative research organization. So these are some of the collaborative arrangement. We have, you see, joint venture, licensing. Okay, a company using the design of a popular character like Mickey Mouse on their product. But ada royalty lah licensing ni. Or outsourcing. Okay. Macam sekarang ni lah, kalau you call bank ke apa, Standard Chartered, dia orang punya their call center is outsourced to another person. Macam tu. Okay, another company akan handle their outsourcing. Even dalam Microsoft pun, their human resource department is outsourced to another company. So other companies, they can handle that. This is the biggest scale lah. Okay. All right. So how do you look at outsourcing or collaboration? How do you look at mode of collaboration? It gives you a better speed, higher cost, better control. So each of these collaboration methods, either it's solo, strategic alliances, joint venture, or licensing, have their advantage and disadvantage. So in this screen, it talks about the speed, the cost, the controlling, leveraging how much can it be leveraged, or how much you can develop a new product, or the potential for accessing another person's firm's competency. So what does it mean here? That means if you were to do a joint venture, for example, the speed is low, but the cost is now shared. But you are able to access another firm's competencies. Let's go back here. You see here, signing joint venture agreement between Touch and Go and this financial group, this company. So this company might not be famous, but Touch and Go is famous. So they're right on Touch and Go. So anyone who listens to who gets Touch and Go will also get this company's financial aid as well. Okay, so these are some collaboration methods as well. We have licensing, outsourcing as well. So these are the advantages based on speed, cost, and control. Okay, so now let's look at partnership selection. Which partner should I choose? Because there's so many. So either you choose licensing or joint venture or research collaboration. You have so many partners. Partners ni macam which company? So you have to go through a few criteria. Either it should be resourcefully fit, strategically fit, and there is an impact on opportunity. That means when you want to collaborate with another company, another department, another organization, you have to first check what is the benefit out of all this. Is it going to be resourcefully fit? That means you don't have that resource, tetapi company lain tu ada. So how well are you going to do? So with all of this, you have to propose to your top management, because your top management will ask you, but we do not have this expertise. Kita nak buat kereta baru, but we do not have this expertise. Or we want to, let's say Honda says, we want to come up with a new product of a new car, but we don't have expertise in making engines, or we don't have enough resources. So Honda, dia akan join strategic alliances dengan another company. That's how Proton is doing now. X70 with another company. Proton has the name, the other company just uses Proton to put in their engine. So that is also another strategic alliances. Okay, so there are so many ways of means of how you can do strategic alliances. But in terms of choosing the partners or the companies, it has to go through several conditions. Either you see it as a strategic fitness, or either you see resourceful fitness, either the collaboration, if you look at the last point, would the collaboration help the firm achieve its strategic intent? Sampai tak? Kalau tak sampai, then it's going to be a problem lah. And all of this needs to be binded in the contract lah. I think ini semua we understand lah. Any strategic alliances, any alliances or any joint venture needs to have an agreement, and this agreement is called the contractual agreement. That means it's by law, it's a legally binded by law. Okay, all right. Yang lain-lain ni you can something much. Okay, so we are going to stop here for today, and I'm going to show you your assignment for today. Where is your assignment? Document, EMBA. Here we go. Okay, so this is your assignment for today. I'm going to email your assignment shortly. Okay, I'm going to email your assignment shortly. Chapter 6, what is the difference between a strength, competitive advantage, sustainable competitive advantage? How is the ideal strategic intent different from models of strategy that emphasizes achieving a fit firm between the firm's strategies and current strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats? Question number 1 for chapter 7, advantage, disadvantage of discounted cash flow methods such as NPV and IRR. What kind of development projects might a real option approach be appropriate? For what projects would it be appropriate? Dua tanda soal lagi. What are some of the advantages and the disadvantages of collaborating on development projects? If a firm decides it is in its best interest to collaborate on a development project, how would you recommend the firm go about choosing a partner, a collaboration mode, and governance structure for the relationship? Okay, so we have 6 questions here, 2 from each chapter, and it's due by the end of today, 11:59 p.m. Okay, please do not. Okay, kenapa all of you macam memikirkan masa depan? Okay, Puan Izzati, Puan Nora, Puan Izani, okay?
Okay, Doctor.
Okay, Doctor.
Okay, all right. Any questions so far? All right. Cik Arif, Cik Amin, okay?
Okay, Doktor.
All right. Okay, Cik Amin yang dapat one mark, ingat tau? Boleh tuntut pada saya, jangan risau, saya dah tulis ni. Amin, one mark.
Terima kasih.
Itulah, kalau Puan Izzati tadi jawab, saya dah bagi dah. Tapi Puan Izzati sekejap. Tapi tak boleh. Jangan risau. Tadi saya terni sikit. Kalau Cik Arif ke cakap tadi, Arif, memang saya nak bagi you 2 markah tadi. Tapi Amin yang jawab bagi 1. Alright, thank you so much. I hope to see your assignments macam biasalah. I will email you now and sorry, you email saya sebelum midnight. Siapa email lambat, kita akan potong 2 markah. Terasa kejam pula saya.
Kalau email cepat, Doktor?
Oh, email cepat saya akan sanjung awak lah. Saya akan berdoa. Okay. Okay. Minggu depan saya akan bersiaran insya-Allah daripada Pulau Pinang. So macam kita akan, mungkin saya akan bersiaran daripada hotel atau mungkin kita akan bersiaran daripada kedai-kedai nasi kandar yang berdekatan lah. So sambil-sambil saya makan tu macam kita buat macam episod jalan-jalan cari makan lah. Okey, tuan-tuan perempuan. Macam tu. Tapi kita buat macam kelas sikit lah. Alright, thank you so much for today's class and I hope to see you insyaAllah next week. You have a good day and next week kita punya projek ialah saya akan bagi your group assignment dah. Okay? Dalam minggu ni lah. Mungkin dalam minggu ni saya akan bagi your group assignment lah for you to think about juga. Okay? Kalau saya email awak, insyaAllah saya akan email petang lah. I will not disturb your working time lah. Kesian awak. Okay? Alright, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Doctor.